All right, welcome to lesson 4.4.1, graphically representing data. Let's start off as usual with our vocabulary words. Our first vocabulary word is dot plot. So a dot plot is a way of organizing data that includes placing dots above a number line. Okay, so you're gonna see what this looks like later on, of course, but for now, this is just my way of putting it into words, okay? So next vocabulary word is the word bin. So a bin is the group of numbers that a data point can be placed in. Okay, and later on when we get to visualizing what a bin is, I'll talk about it again. Next word is histogram. So histogram is really similar to a dot plot, except it kind of looks like a bar chart. So it's a way of organizing data that uses bars of different heights. Okay, so once again, when we get to it, you will see what a histogram looks like. But right now, this is just my way of putting it into words. Next word is frequency. So frequency is how often a data point appears. Box and whisker plot is another way of organizing data. Oops, sorry about that. This time through the use of quartiles. So a way of organizing data using their quartiles. Oops, I spelled that wrong. Quartiles. So if you're wondering what a quartile is, it's literally 1/4 of the data. So if you organize your data from smallest to biggest, and then you split it into 4 equal sections so that each section has the exact same number of data points, that's a quartile. Each of those is a quartile. Once again, we will get to that later on. And then 5-number summary. I can't spell. The 5 numbers used in a box and whisker plot. Okay, so here are our 6 vocabulary words, and they will become more clear to you later on as we get to them. So let's get to one of them. The first part of our worksheet is to construct the graphical display for each of the given data set, describe the distribution of the data. Construct a dot plot. So we're going to construct a dot plot this time. Let me just highlight that. A dot plot. That's going to be this one. To display the scores on a recent math test. The data are 100, blah, 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 blah. I'm not going to read it all. But here's what you do. So first number is 100. I'm going to put a little check mark above it so I know I've already seen it. I'm going to put a dot on top of the 100 mark. This mark for 100, this little mark right here, that's the 100 bin. Okay, so I'm using the vocabulary word bin. So that's the bin for 100. And I place a dot on top of the 100 bin to represent that data point. Then I see the number 82, and I'm going to place that dot on top of the 82 bin. I see the number 98, I will place that on the 98 bin. 96, I will place that on the 96 bin. 87, I will place that on the 87 bin, and so on and so forth. So I'm just going to keep going through all of these and placing their numbers on top of their bin. So notice I came across a second 96 right over here. We already had one earlier, but now that we have two 96s, it now seems to be there's a frequency of 2, so therefore I have 2 dots on top of my bin for 96. That represents a frequency of 2. Remember the word frequency, one of our vocabulary words. So it's a frequency of 2 because I got 2 dots there. Let's keep going. Maybe the frequency will go up. So 91, put it on the 91 bin. 89, put it on the 89 bin. 100, put it on the 100 bin. Okay, so look, 100 now has a frequency of 2. 89 again, put it on the 89 bin. 89 again, put it on the 89 bin. 98, I will put it on the 98 bin. So that one also gets a frequency of 2 now. 89 again, I will put it on the 89 bin. 87, that frequency gets increased to 2. 84, so that's such a big dot compared to this one. I'm just going to make it bigger. There we go. 78, 89 again. Wow, okay, I'm just going to put it right there. 84, 82, 78, 73, 69, 98, and 68. Okay, so I'm just going to make this dot a little bit bigger because I want it to fit in a little bit better. But this is your dot plot. So after you get your dot plot, let's scroll down a little bit. So now we have to describe the distribution of the data. So when you're looking at this dot plot, you can see that most of the data points are on the right side of the graph, correct? Most of the data is on the right. I'm going to write that. So since most of the data is on the right, the mean is probably going to be a bigger number. And so all of this stuff on the left side is smaller than what the mean is going to be. So this left side data points, all the stuff on the left side, it's going to do something called skew. It's going to skew our data to the left. So I'm going to write this means it is skewed. Well, I cannot spell. Let me write it better for you so you know what word I'm saying. Skewed left. So this is a word in statistics, in the math of statistics, that describes a data set where most of the data is on the right. So therefore, it is skewed left because the stuff on the left side is skewing our mean to the left side. So it is skewed left. Even though most of the data is on the right, we say skewed left to say that there's like a tail at the end side of the left. So like if I were to put a blanket on top of this data points, it would look like this. Most of the stuff's on the right side. See how the right side's higher in my blanket? So that tail on this side, this tail is skewing it to the left. So this is skewed left. All right, so now we're going to use the dot plot to answer each question. So the first question is, how many students took the test? So in order to answer this question, all you have to do is count your dots. So I'm going to count them and I'm just going to mark them one at a time as I count them. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. 24 students took the test, and I just did that by counting the dots. You count the dots to find out how many students took the test. How many students scored at least 89? So at least means you want to include the 89. I'm going to count all the dots that are in this side, okay? So counting those, I get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. 13 students scored at least an 89. All right, how many students scored higher than 89? All right, higher. So strictly higher, you don't want to include 89. That means I'm going to be looking at those only. Now I could just take the 13 and subtract those students, but I could also just count the dots. So I'm just going to do that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 students scored higher than 89. And finally, last question is how many students scored lower than 90 and more than 79? So more than 79, so starting at 80, and lower than 90, so ending at the 89. So I'm going to count those. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. 11 students. Okay, so if you have any questions, you can call me over, let me know. Otherwise, we're going to move on to the next example. So the next example is construct a dot plot to display the scores on a recent math test. The data are all of that. I am not going to spend the time on the video to go through each of these. I want you to try making your dot plots on your own, and then you can unpause the video when you're done. All right, so if you're unpaused now, hopefully you got this exact same answer. So you want 1 dot on your 38 bin, you want 1 dot on your 41 bin, you want a frequency of 3 on your 42 bin, a frequency of 1 on your 43 bin, frequency of 1 on your 45, frequency of 1 on your 46, frequency of 4 on your 47, frequency of 2 on your 49, and frequency of 3 on the 50. All right, let's describe our data points. So as you can see, if you're just going to lay a blanket on here, more data is to the right side. Notice how there's a bigger like bump on the blanket on the right side. So that means more data is on the right side. I'm going to write that out. If it's on the right side, then that means your data is skewed left. If most of your data is on the right, the data is skewed left. Okay, we're going to use the dot plot now to answer each question. So how many students took the test? Just count it. So I'm going to count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. How many students scored at least a 45? So at least means include the 45. So I'm just going to count those. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. How many students scored higher than 45? Okay, so just 46 all the way to 50. Well, you can just see earlier I counted all of them. I can count them again, but the purple range of numbers is going to be the same thing as the green range of numbers minus this one. So I'm going to do 11 minus 1 equals 10. Alternatively, you can literally just count all the dots in this section. Last one, how many students scored lower than 45 and more than 40? So more than 40 and lower than 45 would be 41, 42, 43, 44. So you just count it 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Okay, so that would be a dot plot. If you have any questions, please let me know.